Hi, my name is David Ruben. Thank you for watching this video, visiting my website. I have been practicing bankruptcy law in the state of Maryland since 1991. The date of this video is October 2025. I can proudly say that as of this date in 2025, my firm, the Ruben Law Firm, Maryland Bankruptcy Center, has filed more Chapter 7 bankruptcy petitions than any other firm in the state of Maryland. And overall, including Chapter 7s and Chapter 13s, we have filed the second most bankruptcy petitions in the state of Maryland. And I like to think that the reason we're able to do that is because of our initial intake process, which I think differentiates us from all or most of the other bankruptcy firms in the state of Maryland. Now, when it comes to actual bankruptcy work in terms of the ability to discharge debts, do the legal procedures, stop a foreclosure, all good bankruptcy lawyers can do that. It's not rocket science. It's a lot of paperwork. It's understanding the laws. It's filing things promptly. It's communicating with clients and making sure that everything goes the way it should go. Now, that happens in all of our cases. And honestly, there are other very good bankruptcy lawyers out there that do the same. What I think makes us different and has made my firm different for many, many years now is the way that we handle clients when they initially contact our firm. Now, you may be on Google because you did a Google search. You may have found our name from a family or friend, which is happening more and more often these days. You may have found us from another source. When somebody's considering bankruptcy, we recognize that they're going through already a very difficult time, and it takes a lot to make that first initial contact. Even if it's an email in the middle of the night, even if it's a phone call in the middle of the day, even if it's some other form of contact, we have people sometimes just get the courage to walk into our office out of the blue and want to have questions answered. We recognize that bankruptcy, the thought of even filing bankruptcy in and of itself means that you've been going through a difficult situation, not only financially, but emotionally. It's stressful. People use the words, the cliches, I'm overwhelmed in debt, I'm drowning in debt, I can't sleep at night. They're all true. I mean, that has not changed since I started this practice in 1991. Debt can take away from your life in ways that are so terrible, are so difficult to deal with. And it affects every part of your life, not just the inability to pay your bills, which of course is primary, but it affects your relationships with your family. Sometimes it affects your relationship with your kids. And it affects you and your ability to work and sometimes properly function. So our job, that I've always seen it, is to put ourselves in your shoes and recognize that when you're first making that contact, we're here to help you. We recognize what you're going through, and we want to immediately alleviate your stress and set you on the right path. Now, that means not giving you false information, not giving you false hope. It means giving you the straight facts, being nice to you, recognizing that there are no bad questions, telling you how much we charge, and telling you what our process is. Because anyone, including me, I know that when I reach out to a company, for example, I need a plumber in the middle of the night, I need a doctor, all I want is somebody on the other line that knows what they're talking about, that is friendly, that is kind, and is genuinely there to help me. Of course they're there to make money. Even a doctor's office, it's insurance, but they're there to make money. A plumber is there, they're answering their phones because they can make money. That's their business, and we're the same way. But you can do two things at once. You can be kind, you can be compassionate, you can be understanding, and you can give people the time that they need and recognize their feelings and emotions at the same time as doing your job properly. So this is how it works with our firm. If you contact our firm via email, meaning through my website or through a contact form, generally you want to hear back pretty quickly. I'm going to contact you right away. If I don't contact you, then one of my paralegals or the other attorney is going to contact you. Why? Because we know that you want to, you got your nerve up, you reached out, you want to hear information. I'm going to call you. I'm going to email you if you would prefer email. If you call during the day, we're going to answer the phone immediately. I have somebody, it's not an answering service during the day like many firms in town. We have a live receptionist in our office who understands bankruptcy and is going to get you to the place where you want to get to immediately. Again, if I'm not in the office, David Ruben, then another attorney is going to pick up the phone and talk to you. If we're not in the phone, we've got a choice. Do we tell you we're going to call you back when we're available, or do we put you on the phone with a paralegal who can answer your questions? I've found that people just want their questions to be answered. They just want to hear a friendly voice, somebody that's there to handle their needs and to point them in the right direction, and perhaps schedule an appointment with an attorney, or schedule an appointment with the paralegal, or do whatever. I've found that when people call our office for bankruptcy anyway, they want to speak with somebody as quickly as possible. Now, some people only want to do email, and that's fine too. Some people want to do text, and that's fine too. But we want to communicate with you, and we want you to hear that we're concerned about your situation, that we're knowledgeable about your situation, so that we can ultimately represent you and help you out. So what's going to happen on that first contact? Let's say it's Saturday afternoon, and you Googled, and you saw my name, and you called me. On a Saturday, it's an answering service. I can't answer my phone 24/7, but I'm going to get a message that you called, and I'm going to call you back as quickly as I can. And you're going to say, "Hi, how are you?" And I'm going to say, "Hi, this is David Ruben. You contacted me through my website. How can I help you?" And you're going to tell me what's going on. Now, everybody approaches that differently, and my job is to kind of understand what you're going through. Some people say, "I want to file bankruptcy. I want to come in tomorrow. I know my rights. Let's go." I say, "Okay, let's schedule an appointment. We'll be happy to help you. But why don't you tell me a little bit about your situation so we can make sure it's the right thing for you to do?" More likely than not, people are nervous. They're speaking to a lawyer. People have this vision of lawyers that were these, snooty people that don't want to communicate with people and, get down to their level. That's not true with our firm anyway, and it's usually not true with most attorneys. It's a myth. Most of us are good, nice people who want to help clients. But I'm going to say to you, basically, what's going on? How can I help you? That's what you're going to hear me say to you. And you're going to tell me what's going on. And some people run on and on and on because they're nervous, and I will interrupt at some point. Some people just speak for a few minutes. And then I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to say to you, is it okay if I ask you some questions? And generally the client's going to say, yes, of course. And I'm going to ask you questions like, how much money do you make? Do you own a home? Are you behind on your mortgage? Are you married? Have you ever filed bankruptcy before? Do you have any assets that you could sell to do this? And basically what I'm doing and because I can determine, as can my paralegals or other lawyers that work with me, whether or not Chapter 7 is appropriate for you, Chapter 13 is appropriate for you, or bankruptcy is not appropriate for you at all, by asking you these quick questions within the first 5 or 6 minutes. Now, there's always situations that are more complicated. That may take a longer phone call. It may take an in-office consult. Within 2 minutes, I may say, no, you can't file bankruptcy. It's not for you. Sorry. But for the most part, within 5 minutes, I'm going to explain to you what your options are. And then the best part about my job is when I hear that sigh of relief on the other side of the phone and they say, whew, I didn't think I could do that. Or my friends were telling me I could do that, but I didn't know it was true. It's too good to be true. Is that really the case? Yeah, that's really the case. I stake my reputation on it. I've been doing this for 35 years. I wouldn't still be doing it if I was giving people false information on the phone. And I hear that sigh of relief. And then I say, do you want to know how much I charge? Because they always want to know how much I charge. Not always, but for the most part, people sometimes are calling around for the best price or for what the average price is. Sometimes people want to pay more than the cheapest person in town. Sometimes people only want to pay the cheap. Everybody's different. Most people are very comfortable with our fees. What I tell people is, for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, I'm going to quote you on the phone. It's October 2025. I will say generally in this video, I'm willing to say it, we typically charge about $1,500 for an individual Chapter 7 plus the filing fee plus the credit report fee. Now, if it's a joint Chapter 7, it's going to be a little bit more. Are there certain situations where it could possibly be more because there's businesses or townhomes or things like that? Sure. So I'm not binding myself to anything on a video, but I will do that on the phone because that's what people want to hear. They don't want to schedule an appointment and come in and get a bait and switch. That's not happening with my firm. We're going to tell you what we charge. We're going to tell you that we accept payment plans, and we're going to tell you how those payment plans work. And then at the end of the conversation, once we've gotten to that place, some people are going to say, okay, I'm just doing my due diligence. I'll call you back. I say, okay, no problem. Would you like me to send you an email with my information? And sometimes people say, no, I don't want to hear it from you. Most times people say, yes, I'd love that. Will you please send me your information? I get your email address. I tell you to text me directly to my cell phone, or if I already have your email address because you did a contact form, I'll send you an email, and it'll be a detailed email, and it won't be a standard email, meaning it'll be generally standard, but it'll be tailored to your situation, tell you what we talked about. Here's the documents that we're going to need from you. This is how we proceed from here. And I'm generally going to CC or copy one of my paralegals on it so that they have the information as well, so that we've got you in our system. Not that you've retained our services, not that we're keeping it or anybody's using it, but so that we have your information so that when you're ready, whether that's the next day, whether that's a week, whether that's a year or two, because that happens as well, we're ready to go. Oh yeah, I remember that conversation. We spoke and this is what we talked about. Update me on things that are happening and let's go from there. They say, how do you take payment? I say, well, you can come to our office and you can pay in person. You can use a debit card. You can't use your credit cards if you're filing bankruptcy. We don't want you to do that. But a lot of times people say, is it okay if my father pays for me with a credit card over the phone or debit card, or my significant other if they're not filing? I say, absolutely, people do it all the time. And that's the nature of bankruptcy. You're having a hard time and you're reaching out to family and friends to help you, or you're reaching out to us to do a payment plan with you, and we will then take your information, we'll send you a link, we'll go from there. Our job is to make the whole process as easy as possible for you. Like I said at the beginning of this video, actually executing and eliminating your debt, stopping a foreclosure, stopping a garnishment, it's all easy. We do it every day, not a problem. You're going to get the best service possible, but at the same time, we're going to make the process as easy as possible for you so that you can sleep at night, so you don't feel so overwhelmed. And when you come out of this situation, you know that you did everything you're supposed to do, you have a good feeling about it, you refer us to your family and friends, and you have a fresh financial start and you move forward. So we're looking forward to that initial contact from you, whether it's email, phone. Prove me wrong. Email me now. Contact me now. Call me now. See how quickly we get back to you. I've been doing it for my entire career, and I'm not going to stop doing it until I stop practicing law, and that's not anytime soon. And the people who I work with have taken on that same kind of attitude. They recognize that we want to put ourselves in your shoes and treat you as we would like to be treated, and that really is the mantra at the Ruben Law Firm. So reach out to us today. We'd be happy to help you.